has come to our family.
I'm Reginald Gickington, and you can call me Reggie, and today we'll be continuing our painting journey through the miniatures of the Darkest Dungeon board game by Mythic Games. Something stirs in the darkness of the ruins. Calamity will strike this location, for the prophet is here. This sinister boss shouts portents of doom as rubble collapses from the ceiling, forcing the party to frantically dodge the crumbling chapel around them. He is the last of the ruins bosses, and it's time to do him rightly, along with his shattered pews who are so integral to the boss battle. With that out of the way, let's get started. The prophet's skin tone is bizarre, with a unique sickly green to it. But to accomplish this, we're going to start with, oddly enough, gray. Mechanic is standard gray. It's going to establish a very dull base to the skin, which will contrast against the brighter greens later. We're also going to do the hood and loincloth he wears using earth. For the skin, we're going to use green-gray, followed by camouflage green. Both are being dry brushed all over the flesh parts, starting with a heavy dry brush of green-gray, and then a lighter highlighting dry brush of camouflage green, on the focal points like the stomach, face, arms, and knees. The prophet wears physical evidence of his months, or perhaps even years, of abuse at the hands of the ancestor, with knives plunged into his back, chains on his limbs, and a stockade on his shoulders. For the wood, we're using charred brown, and then for the swords, metal braces and chains, surcoat silver. Each sword has a leather hilt, which is also going to get charred brown. Also, as long as we're doing the wood, let's handle the prophet's pews at the same time, a vital component to the mechanics of his fight. Each of them is going to get an all-over of charred brown at this point. The next step is going to be Rakarth flesh, applied to the bandage over his eyes and to his beard. He also has a number of warts all over his skin, for which we're also going to use a few dots of this color. On the pews, some of the larger ones have cobwebs on them, for which we're also going to use Rakarth flesh. For the washes, we're going to do something a little unorthodox. We're actually not doing any all-over wash this time, at least not for the skin. For the wood, the metal, and the cloth, by all means hit them with a normal all-over coat of black wash. But for the skin, we're actually going to manually place our wash, thinning it down with a bit of water and then drawing it into the recesses to give it a softer impact that doesn't bring down the entire skin tone. Don't forget to wash the pews while you're at it. Upon seeing the darkness within the lowest rudiment of the tunnels beneath the manor, the prophet carved out his own eyes and ran screaming into the night. He still clutches those eyes in his bloody hands, and for that blood we're using Flesh Terror's Red applied all over the hand, the eyes, and the bandage over his face. Let's add in some highlights now. First of all, we're going back and using a thin coat of wraithbone on the eyes to add some lightness to them and give them a yellowish-white appearance. Then we're highlighting his beard and warts with Rakarth flesh. To make the blood pop, we're going to use thinned down flesh tears red over the eyes, just to make them appear more bloody and less pristine. And then we're going to use Mephiston red as a highlight on the bandage, eyeballs, and fingers. Next up is the wood, for which we're using earth applied as a light dry brush. Dry brushing is ideal for this sort of thing because of the rich texture of the material. The wood grain helps catch the paint and apply a very soft edge highlight to every single detail on the surface. Just be precise, since you're near so many areas we've taken time and effort to make look perfect already. The last step is the base and the shadows. Mechanica Standard Gray, Black Templar on the rim, Doom Death Black for the shadows, and a black wash on the stonework. Simple and altogether routine by now. And the Prophet is now done. The last of the Ruins bosses is taken care of, and we're almost ready to venture back into the darkest dungeon itself. I enjoyed painting him a lot, and this comes at a perfect time because my party just finished their fight with the Necromancer, so there's a good chance they'll be facing off against the Prophet next. He looks disgusting and decrepit, just the way I hoped he would, and I'm glad you were all here to join me for yet another painting tutorial. Have fun painting your Darkest Dungeon miniatures, and feel free to tag me on Instagram, @ReggieGick, to show me how yours turn out. Links to my affiliated socials can be found in the description. Feel free to subscribe or like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon with another painting tutorial.